Alright, welcome to the GD Creator tier list video, and unfortunately, I've had to re-record this video about 9 million times, and my recording software likes to crash whenever I try to drag the icons into the tiers, so I did that before I started recording. Sorry if that takes away from the atmosphere of the video, but then again, I don't really care. So I'm going to be going from top to bottom, left to right, explaining each creator and why they are there. So up in the S tier we have Funny Game and Sir Punch. I'm going to start with Sir Punch. Now, Sir Punch has made an entire video game in Geometry Dash, and if that's not enough reason to be considered one of the best creators of all time, I don't know what is. Next up we've got Funny Game, and Funny Game is the pioneer of modern effects. This guy's been doing effects since color triggers were introduced, pretty much. Moving down to the A tier, we have Bionox. Bionox is known for hosting many mega collabs and having a unique, colorful style that's pretty damn refined and neat to look at. Next up we've got DavJ2, who's known for Crazy and Crazy 2, as well as parts of mega collabs like Abyssal Extinction. His designs are all 2D, but they have a great atmosphere to them and really fit whatever theme the level's going for. After DavJT we have HJFOD. Now HJFOD is known for his solo level Zenith, which is his masterpiece, and it's an incredibly detailed level, which draws inspiration from his dream. Next up we have got Isane. Now Isane is in the A tier because his work is incredibly polished, and for the fact that he also perseveres through and has had 148 mega collab parts, which is insane. Next up, we have got Laser Blitz. Now, Laser Blitz is one of the first people to use the tech style that we know in levels like Space Locked and Space Locked 2, as well as his 2.0 levels, which were not nearly as good, but they were still great for their time. Next up, we've got Novel Boy, who everybody knows for his rainbows and his collab parts. Now, recently, his part in Abyssal Extinction was shown, and that just does not look like him. And that's really a good thing in my eyes. It's an absolutely amazing part. After Novel Boy, we have Samifying, who has pretty much quit the game now, but Samifying had parts in Digital Descent and Zodiac, as well as his solo level from 2.0 Blast Furnace, still holding up extremely well against 2.1 standards. After Samifying, we have Mannix, the other pioneer of the tech style that we know so well today, and Mannix is gone as well, but him and Laser Blitz have collabed on many things, which is pretty much why they're in the same tier. They're about the same in skill. Next up we've got Penita, and Penita is known for his sync in gameplay, as well as hosting mega collabs and his pretty unique style, which is a combination, in my eyes, of 1.9 and 2.1 aesthetics, and it looks really nice. After Penita we have Rustum. Rustum has parts in Digital Descent and a bunch of other mega collabs like Zodiac, and all these parts are super detailed, and most of them are art focused. He's also made levels like Devil Vortex and Erebus, which still are at the peak of the demons list even today. Next up we've got the B tier, starting off with Seartrax. Now Seartrax is much like Bionox, with a unique, colorful style and aesthetic pretty much drawn from Alkali and 1.9. Now the reason that Seartrax is down here is just because I don't feel like this style is nearly as polished as the people in the A tier. After Seartrax we have Jenkins, who is another colorful creator. Jenkins has made the level Incipient, as well as a part in Sigma, which is probably one of the best parts in the level. Now the reason why Jenkins is down here if he's made this amazing part is because I really haven't seen that much from him that warrants me bringing him up any further. Next up is Carmel, who many people would argue should be higher, but honestly this is solely based on design. Now Carmel's levels are really unique, but design is really not a standout thing about his levels. So I kind of just placed him here based solely on how unique his creations are. Coming in next, we've got Nwalk. Now, Nwalk has made many collaboration levels, and a solo level as well. He's been in levels like F and Breakout Redux, and created the original Breakout, and most of his parts flow really well, and his regular levels work really well, all of the sections together. After Nwalk, we have Sphinx, who is another fairly known creator, I guess I'd say. And Sphinx has made parts in Freedom 08, the big rotating ball part, the many Noedas, and parts in other levels like Funky Town, and a bunch of other mega collabs. These parts are extremely well polished and well made, but the reason why Sphinx is down here is just because Sphinx is not nearly as well known as the people in the A tier. After Sphinx we have the Devon. Now the Devon has had parts in Viper's collabs, and is also a Geostorm member, and much like Samifying has also quit. Now his parts are incredibly detailed, not to really the same degree as Rustum's where they're clean. Some would argue that they're messy, and that's the main reason why he's on B tier. So, the final person in B tier is Zero, the leader of TC Team. Now, Zero has made many parts in TC Team levels, as well as having a part in Sonic Wave Infinity, which is a cube section, and all of his parts are pretty detailed and well made, with good usage of glow and good planetary art in the background. Now, to start off the C tier, we have Temp. Temp is a Korean creator and player, talented in both fields, and the reason why Temp is down on the C tier rather than being on ARC It's just because his creations really aren't as polished as others, although they're still amazing. After Temp we have Vipern, and Vipern is pretty much widely criticized for sucking, honestly. But Vipern stuff really isn't that bad if you give it another look. Iridescent is a great level, and his parts and Mega Collabs are pretty good, even though some may not like the Memory Ball. Next up we've got Mindcap, another big Mega Collab host like Penida and Vipern, but Mindcap doesn't nearly have as good as a polished design as these two do. His design is kind of inconsistent throughout, parts being detailed in some and empty in others, and sometimes just doesn't really work very well. Coming in the D tier, we have N level. Now, N level is well known for many things, hacking being one of them, but his levels are pretty bland, although he is starting to go up my ranking, as his newer levels like Cognition, his parts in 13 and Burnt Rice, have definitely brought him into more favor in my eyes, just being better at what he does. Next up, we've got Jonathan GD, who has made levels like GTD, and all of these levels are pretty decent. However, they are messy, and the block designs are pretty bad in each instance. Now, if you were looking ahead, you might see that Zim Noire is also in the D tier, and you might be wondering why. Well, it's because, not because he's a core creator, because in fact I like core, but his core creations are just very messy, and most of the time unpolished, and their main goal is just to fill up as much space as possible, which obviously is core, but you can't just cram any object in and expect it to work. Coming in the E tier is Lemons, and this is kind of unfair because I like his stuff now, but his old stuff kind of holds him back, and I don't see him really being as talented as the people above him. And the only person in the F tier is Dansman. Dans used to make really high quality boss fight levels like Wild West, which were pretty nicely made, but now he's gone down the Descent to Madness and made 10 levels in 7 days, which all look like could have been made by a 4-year-old in about 4 hours. So it's pretty disappointing. And that's really it. You might notice there's an icon in the bottom left below all the tiers. We don't talk about that one. That one's just going to stay where it is, and I'm not going to place it. See you later.